Hi everyone and welcome to Southside Dodge Rebels This Week. We're at the Red Deer Arena today where the Rebels are practicing as the boys clean up from Agri-Trade this past weekend. We've got plenty of highlights, the final three games of the Western Road Trip. We've got Cam Moon joining us for the middle segment. We go in the corners with Wally and we check in around the Western Hockey League. So let's rewind the clock back to last Tuesday night, the Rebels visiting the Portland Winterhawks. Winterhawks bring the puck out after the Rebels can't control it in the offensive zone. Joe Mahan leads the odd man rush, ends up shooting from long range. Easy save for Patrick Bartosak. Charles Inglis with the puck tries the toe drag, but he's bodied off it by Josh Hansen. Derek Pouliot shoots from in close, but can't beat Bartosak. Then Matt Bellerive gets a bit sloppy with his stick while on the forecheck, catching Brendan Leipsic up high for a 2-minute minor. Still no scoring midway through the second period until the puck finds its way to Oliver Bjorkstrand. He goes short side, top shelf past Bartosak for his 7th of the year and a 1-0 Portland lead. Not long after, Troy Rutkowski fires one past Bartosak but hits the iron. A couple minutes later, Joey Baker with the hard shot. Bartosak coughs up a juicy rebound. Pouliot all over it for his 5th of the season. Portland takes a 2-0 lead. Then it's highly touted draft prospect Seth Jones who makes it 3-0 for Portland. Somehow his point range wrister finds its way to the back of the net. In the third, Ty Ratty brings the puck in, throws it out front, but Bolton Pouliot on in relief makes an outstanding save. Rebels finally get on the scoreboard shortly thereafter. Connor Bleakley's shot is stopped, but Corey Miette is there to slide the rebound past Red Deer product Matt Caruth. Miette uses the traffic to his advantage to score his 5th, 3-1 Winterhawks. Tyson Ness has a great chance to make it a 1-goal game, splits the Portland D, but can't beat Caruth. The Rebels' comeback hopes were squashed thanks to an outstanding individual effort by Brendan Leipsic. He skates right around Matthew Dumba and goes top cheddar past Pouliot. What a move for his 9th of the season. It's a power play goal, 4-1 Portland. Hawks add one more for good measure when Ratty leans into the Iginla-like wrister, scorches it past Pouliot. 12th of the year for Ratty. Portland rolls to an easy 5-1 victory. Game stats are brought to you by 247reddeer.ca. As good as the Rebel penalty killing has been this season, it's tough to corral a high-scoring Winterhawks team as they went 2 for 7 with the man advantage. So no time for the Rebels to pout after that one because one night later they continued the road trip by visiting the Everett Silvertips. Don't blink or you'll miss it as Matthew Dumba joins the rush, converts Turner Elson's pass into his 4th of the season, 1-0 Rebels. Rebels dig the puck loose along the boards. Tyson Ness blasts one past Daniel Cotton for his 6th and a 2-0 lead. Everett gets one back courtesy of Tyler Sandu, who finds the rebound for his 5th, 2-1 Rebs at that point. Connor Bleakley makes it 3-1 as he beats Cotton for just his 2nd goal of the season. Power play goal for Bleaks. But it turns into a 3-2 game when the Rebels can't clear the zone. Landon Oslansky capitalizes, beating Bartosak. But the Rebels get an insurance goal as Cody Teal finds the puck behind the net, comes out, spins, and fires. That's his 2nd of the season. The Rebels beat the Silvertips 4-2. A solid 27-save performance by Patrick Bartosak played a key role as the Rebels once again found the 500 mark. So after all of that, one more game for the Rebels on their Western road trip. It took place Friday night in Kelowna. Just over 5 minutes into the first, Zach Franco throws the puck out front to a wide-open Ryan Olsen. He tips it past Bartosak for his 8th of the year, 1-0 Rockets. Colton Martin's point shot does not get through, but the puck bounces right to Tyrell Goulbourne. He beats a startled Bartosak for his 3rd and a 2-0 Rockets lead. Bartosak does make a nice save on a backhander from Rourke Chartier, but the Rebels trailed by 2 after 20. Miles Bell feeds a wide-open Olsen. He's off to the races. Dekes Bartosak and hits the post, but the rebound goes off Patrick's leg and into the net. Olsen's 2nd of the game makes it 3-0. Bartosak comes out. Bolton Pouliot goes in. But his luck would be no better. Chartier finds the loose puck and finds the back of the net for his 6th, 4-0 Kelowna at that point. And the Rockets keep coming. Pouliot can't handle the point shot from Mitchell Wheaton. The puck goes in off the skate of Cody Fowley. Simply not a good play by the Rebels. 5-0 through 40. The lone bright spot for the Rebels came courtesy of Matthew Dumba. He spoiled Jackson Whistle's shutout bid with 5.5 minutes left. Dumba's 5th made it 7-1. Cody Fowley would take advantage of more sloppy defensive Rebels play to score his second of the night. The Kelowna Rockets whipped the Rebels 8-1. The Rebs finishing their 5-game Western road trip with a 2-3 record. 8-1. Not a good way to end the road trip. We'll just leave it at that. Well, you saw the highlights and the lowlights from the 5-game road trip over the past couple episodes. Here's what the players had to say about their Western swing.
Overall, we didn't do what we expected. We wanted 3 wins, 2 losses, but it's a tough road trip, and it's the first time for everybody to go on that long road trip, and I still feel like we had a few games where we played really well, like the ones we won against Everett and Spokane. The other ones we just were not intense. We got killed by Kelowna because we weren't intense, we weren't playing the body. It was just a rough game there, and we didn't want to go 2-3, but it is what it is.
Obviously, I don't have to say it was long. Everyone knows that, and I mean everyone knows how it ended up and whatnot. And we played some real solid hockey at times, and we got away from that at times as well. And I mean that's when it kind of came back to bite us. But all in all, I think it is what it is. We got to move past it. Today was a new day, and everyone was working their butt off today at practice. I mean, guys were really going as anyone could say, like anyone could see. It was very high intensity. And that's what we need. We're going to build off that, and I think we're just more or less going to put that road trip behind us and keep moving forward here before Christmas.
I thought we had a really good start to the trip. We played really well in Spokane. We weren't real good in our next game. Didn't play well in Portland at all, and we kind of got going in Everett. Played a pretty solid hockey game, and then fell on our faces to finish. So it was a bit of an up and down trip, and really, the last game, and especially, I thought we just didn't show up mentally at all. The guys were there in body, but they'd gone home a day early, and we just didn't play well at all. So I think it's really for us right now about finding consistency, and it starts with our work ethic. When you don't show up to play and you don't compete, you don't move your feet, it's a tough game to play, and in a couple of those games we just didn't compete hard enough at all.
Yes, coming back to practice today is good. Just we're going back to the basics, just getting back to the little details in our game and working hard and really finding our work ethic again. I was kind of missing on the road trip in a couple of those games, and it came back to bite us. And we know the mistakes that we did wrong, and they're all just little mental mistakes on our part, and it's nothing that we can't fix. And for the games coming up on Saturday, Sunday, we'll be sharp, and we'll be competing, and it's just one step closer to getting better as a team and being better, and just finding that consistency.
I've only been here a couple of weeks, but there's a lot of heart and soul here. I mean, that's something I have really noticed, especially on the road trip. I mean, guys are really vocal. Guys are really close. I mean, everyone. It's a very, very, very close team. I mean, you can see today practice. I mean, there's a couple things going on, but it's all in just the heat and the will of the game and things. But we'll go back to the dressing room here now, and everyone have some laughs about it and whatnot. And I think that's huge in a team game like this, where we can just pull together right after it. And I mean, we're all in on the game in Kelowna and Portland, whatever. We're at the end of the day, we're a team, and we'll gel. Things like that will make us better.
Charles Inglis continues to lead the team in scoring, but his lead is down to just a single point over Tyson Ness and Matthew Dumba. Nelson, Bellerive, and Hamilton each 2 points back. Rebels still struggling to power past the 500 mark. They sit 5th in the Central Division, 1 point back of Medicine Hat. The boys return to home ice this coming weekend for a pair of games. Saturday, they welcome the Swift Current Broncos to the NMAX Centrium. Sunday, they play host to Prince Albert. Coming up after the break, the voice of the Rebels, Cam Moon, checks in, and we train like a Rebel.
Southside Dodge Chrysler Jeep and RV Center is proud to serve Central Alberta. 100% satisfaction, friendly salespeople, and excellent customer service. Southside Dodge, home of the $10,000 giveaway.
Hi everyone, Jack here at 360 Fitness Personal Training. If you're looking to lose weight, burn fat, and just feel great in your clothes again, 360 Fitness can get you there. Work one-on-one with our trainers to get you in the best shape of your life. Get results or your money back.
Complete Athlete in Sylvan Lake is Central Alberta's #1 hockey training facility, boasting one of the world's largest skating treadmills and stick handling platforms. Learn, train, perform. Complete Athlete in Sylvan Lake.
Welcome back to the show. Hey, look, it's Cam Moon. He survived the Western road trip, and he's making his second appearance on the show this season. Now, before we get to talking about the hockey, Interesting Sunday in the CFL. Your Eskimos, not the best of luck, but the Rough Riders had the rug pulled out from them in the last second by the Stampeders. On this team, a lot of Rider fans. Who do you think took it the hardest?
Oh, gee, I don't know. Yeah, all the Saskatchewan guys are pretty hardcore. Probably Cody Teal. He might be the hardest core of the Rider faithful. The Alberta guys, well, they're kind of split. We have some Edmonton, we have some Calgary. I guess, the BC guys are the BC guys. And then, of course, our American and Brandon Underwood doesn't care at all. So that's really how it shakes down.
Well, the one thing you know about the Riders fans is they'll take this hard for a few days. They'll be back louder and prouder next year, and we'll just have to deal with that.
We will have to deal with that. They are loud.
Speaking of having to deal with things, not exactly an ideal road trip for this club. They played well at times, snuck out a couple of wins, but unfortunately 3 losses. Maybe just your overall thoughts on this 5-game trip.
Well, the team goes 2-3. They played some really good teams. The Portland Winterhawks, that's the best team the Rebels have seen this year. From judging from that game, I like them better than the Kamloops Blazers, the Edmonton Oil Kings, the Calgary Hitmen. They're that good. They've got top-end talent at all positions, an incredible amount of speed, and with Matt Carruth coming back from the American Hockey League as a Chicago Blackhawk draft pick, he solidifies them in goal. And this is a team that's been to the WHL final the last 2 years, so it shouldn't come as a big surprise. But they have turned players over, but they continue to improve. They're very good. That last game was that's a throwaway. It was a bad night. Things didn't go well. Pucks were getting turned over and landed up in the Rebels' net again and again and again. But at the end of the day, they go out on a real long road trip. They go 2-3. Looking at the team is sitting at about 500 going into it and sitting at about 500, one game below coming out of it. It's really not a big stretch one way or the other, to tell you the truth. They played well against a very good Spokane team in Game 1. Tri-City, the effort was decent, but against Tri-City it's going to have to be very good to have success. Portland's, I think, the best team in the WHL. And then, the game against Everett, well, Red Deer's probably got more talent than the Everett Silvertips, and that showed true in that game. Rebels had a good effort, but they were able to find a way to win it, and that was good. But, I think you look at the whole thing, when it's all said and done, it's, with the exception of the last game, I mean, if they win that game, we're looking at a 3-2 road trip, and we're talking about how great it was. So I really thought it wasn't too bad.
Again, probably just more of the same. They win one, they lose one, they play good at times, they play, we'll say, inconsistent at times. What do you think it's going to take eventually for this team to start putting some wins together consistently?
Experience. I mean, you look at this lineup and you don't see a ton of 19-year-old players. And you look at the top teams in the WHL, they usually have a lot of 19-year-old guys and real high-end 19-year-old players, all-star caliber 19-year-old players. And when you play against those, I mean, it's a little tough. You got to work really hard, and you got to play a perfect game to have success against those top-level clubs. I a little more experience with this group. There's a lot of guys that are new to the league and maybe don't have a lot of games under their belt. And as that continues and they get the feel of the league and how important it is to have that really good effort on every night, then I think that consistency will come. It's not something that you can just flip the switch, though. It takes a little while. So it's a learning process for this team. They continue to grow. They continue to improve. A few little things they need to shore up, but I see things going in a good direction.
Not only a group of players that in ways is new to the Western Hockey League, but definitely a group of players that's new to each other. We saw all the wheeling and dealing throughout October. Are you starting to see more and more chemistry now that this group is playing more and more games together?
Oh, most certainly. And they've added some real quality individuals. Brady Gaudet has come in and just fit in seamlessly. The guy's played a lot for this team. He's going to be a top 4 defenseman. He's going to have a presence on the power play. He's just such a quality young man with great personality. So he's come in, he's fit in really well. Same with Brandon Underwood. He's a 20-year-old guy in 5 years in the WHL and a real easy guy to get along with. He's fit in real well too. And some of the younger new guys, you look at Wyatt Johnson has done in a short time coming off that injury. He's played real well. Has shown that 17 years old. Here's a guy that can play on your top 3 lines, that can contribute offensively, skates real well, and isn't afraid of any kind of physical play. He gets right in there. So he's been a really good addition too. Christian Stockel at 17 years old has shown that there's some upside there for him offensively, and and a guy that skates well too. So yeah, a lot of wheeling and dealing, a lot of guys moving into position and finding where they sit on the team and all that. But yeah, things that I think at the end, this team's going to be a good competitive club.
Yeah, we even saw Wyatt Johnson drop the mitts on the road trip. So.
Oh, did he ever? Surprised the heck out of everybody. Wow. I mean, he threw bombs and all the guys were going crazy for it. And I don't know if anybody really expected him to be able to fight that well, but. Oof.
Well, and the other fight from the road trip that did make it into the highlight reel, but I understand Mr. Boomgard dropped the mitts in a pretty good time.
Yeah, he did. He took on Mahan, one of the tougher guys in the WHL with the Portland Winterhawks, like a real heavyweight here. And Boomgard did extremely well. Actually fed him a few, and I think probably got the better of it. I mean, you could probably watch that and make your own decision, and maybe I'm looking at it slightly biased, but I thought Boomgarden showed really well against a real big, tough guy. I think Riley Boomgarden, he's a force to be reckoned with that way.
So, as we've come to expect over 2 decades of Rebels hockey, still a lot of toughness on this squad, if nothing else.
Yeah, if nothing else, there's some guys that can really throw them. So, you're not going to take liberties with this team. You got a guy like Brandon Underwood, who's a pretty tough customer. Cody Teal's pretty tough customer. There's a lot of guys that can do that if it comes to that. Now, in today's day and age of the WHL, we really don't see that very often. It's a bit of a rarity that it even happens, but when it has, Red Deer's fared pretty well.
As we look at the Central Division now, Rebels all of a sudden find themselves in 5th place, but you look at it, they're only 1 point back of Medicine Hat, and they're still within striking distance in terms of points of the teams at the top of this division. So all it takes is a couple of wins, and you're right back in the race.
Yeah, and key wins against guys in your own division, I think is really important. The team has a little bit of a stretch here where they don't play a lot of games. They played a lot early, so they were a little bit ahead of the pack, and this stretch here will equalize it out. So teams will be getting points on nights where the Rebels aren't playing. That's just the reality and something that this team will have to deal with. But when they play the Medicine Hats and the Calgarys and even the Edmontons, you got to find ways to get points against those teams. And Lethbridge. Lethbridge have had a real good run here, and they've put together quite a few wins and have moved up in the standings. Red Deer's got to play well against those teams and get points. That'll make it nice and close. And it looks like, I know it's still pretty early, but it's going to be a great race for the top 8 in Eastern Conference. And I guess when you have a conference where 4 teams miss as opposed to the other side where only 2 teams miss, that's going to create better races because it's harder to get in. And it looks like really from now to the end of the regular season, it's going to be a battle to get in that top 8.
And finally, a chance for this team to make hay at home. They've gone on the 2 long road trips already this season. They've had games coming up, I think 12 home games between now and Christmas. So a chance for this team to make hay on MX Centurion ice.
And that is absolutely important. It is key. I know early in the year, they haven't played their best at home. That absolutely has to change. The team has played a ton of road games. They've spent close to 20 nights away, like 20 nights in hotels or on a bus already. And that's a lot early in the season. But I guess that means conversely, they're not going to spend a ton of road games from now to the end of the year. There's only a couple of trips in there and then a bunch of one-offs. So there's not a lengthy road coming up. They've got to play well at home. They've got to pick up points at home, especially against teams in the Eastern Conference or teams that they're chasing. This is the time for this team, and with some time here to get ready for the weekend, get their feet underneath them after a long road trip, it's imperative that they play well at home.
Division finals in the CFL coming up this weekend. Who's your Grey Cup matchup?
Montreal versus BC. I know I've really gone out on a limb here. I've picked the 2 favorites, but I still think the favorites are going to win.
Okay. Home field advantage means a lot.
So maybe, I don't know. Maybe Ricky Ray gets Toronto in there, but I don't think so.
See you on the weekend. Thanks for this, Mooner.
All right, thank you.
Cam Moon with his thoughts on the road trip and a few other things here on Soulside Dodds Rebels this week. Time now to check in with Jack at 360 Fitness for Train Like a Rebel.
Hi everyone, Jack here from 360 Fitness Personal Training. This week we're chatting about 2 important lower body exercises. First and foremost, the squat. Second, the leg press. So Brooke's already set up for the squat. So what you're doing when you're squatting is a few really, really important basics that you have to keep neutral. So you're gonna keep your eyes up, your chin up, your chest up. You're gonna put the weight into your heels and you're gonna sit all the way down to about 90 degrees. You're gonna slowly lower down and explode through the bottom of your feet as you come up. Another great lower body exercise is the leg press. So you have to think of the leg press as almost like an upside down or an inverted squat. So it's working all the same muscle groups, you just have to focus it a little bit different. So what Brooke's doing is she's putting her feet up as if this was the floor. So again, just outside the shoulders, driving with her heels, coming down to about 90 degrees and driving all the way up. Nice and slow on the way down, and big explosive force on the way back up.
Coming up after the break, we go in the corners with Wally and we check in around the Western Hockey League.
Nelson to hack the shot. Score!
Hey Red Deer Rebels fans, have we got the show for you? Southside Dodge Rebels This Week is your #1 source for everything Rebels. Highlights, interviews, stats, and exclusive behind-the-scenes features brought to you each and every week by those who have their eye on the Rebels all season long. Southside Dodge Rebels This Week, weeknights on Shaw TV.
Welcome back once again with his weekly In the Corner segment, the one and only Jared Waldo.
You see this? See this dirty mo right here? That's brutal, isn't it? Kind of like the Rebels' offense as of late. For whatever reason, the Red Deer Rebels, especially on this recent road trip, have had trouble finding the back of the net. You look to their leading scorers. Charles Inglis, #1 right now. Well, he hasn't done much lately. Charles Inglis, in the last 5 games, 0 goals, 0 points, and is a -7. Matt Bellerive, much of the same. In the last 7 games, no goals, no points. He's a -1. So where this offense is coming from, nobody knows quite right now, but it's got to come from somewhere. You might look to the back end, but right now they haven't had a whole lot of help offensively from their blue line. Over the last 5 games, the Red Deer Rebels have received 3 goals and one assist, 4 points from their blue line, but 2 of those goals came from Matt Dumba, who, by the way, is the RebelRebellion.com Player of the Week. So where is this coming from? Where are we going? A lot of the problems with the Red Deer Rebels right now probably could be solved if they could score a few more goals. Easier said than done, but it's got to come from somewhere, and it's got to come soon so they can turn this ship around. Now stay tuned to RebelRebellion.com over the next week as we rock the Centrium November 17th against the Swift Current Broncos. Read my blog later this week to find out how.
Thanks, Wally. Now time once again to check in with news and notes from around the Western Hockey League. The annual Subway Super Series makes its way out west this week. 2 games between the Russians and Team WHL. Wednesday night in Vancouver, Thursday night in Victoria. And for the 2nd straight season, Rebels defenseman Matthew Dumba will be suiting up.
It's always a fun experience, and had a lot of fun with it last year, and it's good competition, and it's fun to be with some of those guys that you don't get to play with, and it's a great time. So I'm looking forward to just competing hard and showing the work ethic that I have.
The Western Hockey League recently announcing that 301 WHL grads have been awarded scholarships for the 2012-2013 academic year. The scholarship recipients are enrolled as full-time students in 68 different post-secondary institutions in North America. The list includes a number of former Rebels, including former captain Colin Archer and eternal fan favorite Brett Ferguson. Post Foods Canada and the Canadian Hockey League teaming up to bring junior hockey star goalies to breakfast tables across the country. Fans of the WHL, OHL, and the Quebec Junior League can collect up to 24 unique goalie cards and 12 unique goalie face panels as part of the Post-exclusive CHL Goalie Collector's Edition series. Fans can take advantage by purchasing specially marked boxes of family-sized Post cereal. Recently at the NMAX Centrium, a group of lucky young hockey players got to skate with the Rebels, courtesy of Hockey Alberta and ETB Financial.
It's just an opportunity for these elite athletes to share share ice time with youngsters, and we all want role models, and I think these are as good role models as they get for our children.
There's a few groups of us going out there to play with the kids, and it's going to be a fun day. I don't know who's going to have more fun, me or the kids. Just basic skills, skating, passing, shooting, a little bit of keep away it looks like, so it'll be fun.
They obviously look up to us a lot, and it's good to get out there and skate with them and try and teach them a few things and just have fun with the guys and kind of give back to the community a little bit.
Just helping out the kids, whether we were pushing pucks or just passing to them or whatever, just sort of getting to know the kids, just having some fun out there with them.
Really awesome, and it was really fun, and it got me kind of excited when I first heard I was doing it, and it was really, really fun. Did skating drills, games, and some stick handling games.
Go! Watch this one.
It's great. We get to go out here with the kids in this little hockey school we got going, and we just get to spend some time with them, do a couple drills. It's really fun. Worked up a full sweat actually here. I think it's an equal amount of fun. We're having a lot of fun out there with the kids, and I know the kids are loving it. So I think it's both ways. Well, we just go through pretty much just fun drills. Just at that age, you just let them know that hockey's still fun, and they're just out here just loving the game. You get a couple guys that are cheating because they got their competitive nature, they want to win, but it's good for us to be out here and just be with them. And kind of they look up to us, so it's nice just to be out here with them.
That about does it for this week's show. Check us out online anytime at rebelsthisweek.com. Also hit us up on Twitter at rebelsthisweek. We'll see you again next time.
Cross ice, good pass, Barron from Peterson, read it.
Depot, go control. Yeehaw, she saw something till
Unbelievable stop.
Depot, go control.
Aviani coming the other way. He's got numbers on the left side. Aviani, distance back, Fiddler out front. That's on the score!
Backhander, he scores! What a goal by Bates!
Boss Larry DeNil, Fredo in from the left side. Here's Fredo, cross ice, they score! Cody in from the right side of Newton. Manitoba power play 2-0.
By Shane Pilon! Oh, baby, what a save! Cam Flanagan! Daylight robbery, Freddie! Are you kidding me?
No, hand in the corner, walks in!
Holy smoke! It's Tyrone Goldborn!
Sparks on a breakaway. Wapple, what a save! Oh, are you kidding me, Daniel?
2-on-1. Harkin scores! The hat trick for Jansen Harkin.
The circle hands it off. Dylan runs centers it.
Holy Hannah! What a save by Stevens, point blank! The one-timer!
Only a shot rebound.
Marvell has got plenty of man. He scores!
Right from there, lost it into Foley. Chin. How do you do? Cody Foley, what a move!
And the celebration is underway.